let's take a look at the practice from 14.4. We're gonna be solving proportions. We're gonna do the odds, 11 to 27, skip ahead to the ones that you need. And here we go, number 11. So we have 10 over 7 equals 8 over k. We have a lot of different strategies for solving these. We want to check first to see if we can easily get from 10 to 8, and I don't see that that's possible. Then I'm going to check to see if I can reduce. So let's make a little list. Can we find an equivalent fraction easily right away? If we can't, we should check to see if we can reduce one of our ratios. In this case, we can't. And then after that, we can resort to cross products. You can use cross products any time, but it's not always the quickest or the most efficient, okay? But in this case, I think it's gonna be the easiest. So remember, when we have equivalent ratios, the cross products will be equal. I'm gonna work it out down below so that I have room. 8 times 7 is 56. That's one of our cross products. 10 times k is 10k. Cross products are equal. Now we have an equation we're gonna solve. We need to divide by 10, show it as a fraction. And 56 divided by 10 is 5.6. Okay? Number 13. 5 over n equals 16 over 32. Okay, so I can't easily get from 16 to 5. So that doesn't work. Step 2, we're gonna see if we can reduce one of our ratios. Well, look here. Wow, that makes it so much easier. Both of these can be divided by 16. If you don't see 16 right away, start with 2, start with 4. Anything will help. So I'm gonna drop down my first ratio. My second ratio reduces to 1 over 2. Now I can easily find my equivalent fraction. You could still use cross products if you want. 1 times 5 gets us to 5. 2 times 5 gets us to 10. So n has a value of 10. Okay? Number 15. Nine over 10 equals d over 6.4. So I see a decimal in here right away, which means it's gonna be hard to find an equivalent fraction. 9 over 10 can't be reduced. So I'm gonna just jump into cross products right away. Remember, cross products will always be equal when our ratios are equal. It tells us that in the middle equal sign, 10 times d is 10d. 9 times 6.4, we can work that out to the side if we need to. 9 times 4 is 36, carry the 3. 6 times 9 is 54, plus 3 is 57. I can estimate, or I can just hop it over once. So I have 57.6. Now I have an equation that I can solve. Luckily, I'm just dividing by 10. Okay, 10s will cancel. And 57.6 divided by 10 is simply 5.76. Okay, all right, let's move on to 17. Okay, 17, we have 8 over m equals 6 over 15. I can't easily get from 6 to 8, okay? So then I'm gonna check. So let me rewrite my list. I'm gonna see if I can easily find an equivalent ratio. If I can't, I'm gonna check to see if I can reduce. And then after that, if I can't reduce and it doesn't help, then I'm gonna use cross products. Cross products will work every time. You can start with that, but that might be harder. I can't find an equivalent ratio, but I can reduce. These are both divisible by 3. Let's see if that helps. So this would become 2/5. I will just drop down my other ratio. And now I can find my equivalent ratio. 2 times 4 gets me to 8. 5 times 4 gets me to 20. So M has a value of 20. Okay, 19. Moving on. 20 is to 16. As D is to 12. Okay, nope, can't easily go from 16 to 12. Can't easily find an equivalent ratio, so I'm gonna reduce. So both of these can be divided by 4. You could start with 2 if you didn't see that. All right, so 20 divided by 4 is 5. 16 by 4 is 4. Drop down my equal sign, drop down my equivalent ratio. Now I can do it. So let's see, 4 times 3 is what gets me to 12. Do the same thing to the numerator. 5 times 3 is 15. So D equals 15. All right, 21. I kind of forgot what number we were going to. Let me look. Oh, 27. Okay, a few more. 21. Oh, goody, decimals, so fun. 2.4 is to 1.8. Ooh, but I can see a relationship there. That was my dog if you heard him. Equals 7.2 over K. Okay, so if you have a hard time working with decimals, or kind of seeing the relationship, seeing if we can reduce anything, you may want to just jump into cross products. So for me, I can notice a relationship between 2.4 and 7.2. I think of it as like 24 and 72. So I know that 24 times 3, oops, hang on, distraction. Okay, sorry. All right, where was I? Oh, we were finding an equivalent ratio. So you may not see the relationship between 2.4 and 7.2. Sorry, I kind of forgot where I was at. Let's scrap this. Let's use cross products. You can absolutely go this way if you see it. So I see 2.4 times K is 2.4K equals, and then I can work out 1.8 by 7.2. Okay, 8 times 2 is 16, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Done with the 2, placeholder. 7 times 8 is 56, carry the 5. 1 times 7 is 7, plus 5 is 12. Add them up. 6, 9, 2, 1 for 12.96. Okay, so drop that into your equation. From here, we can divide each side by 2.4. Okay, 2.4 divided by 2.4 is 1K, or just K. Okay, and then we can work out 12.96 divided by 2.4. Hop the decimal once, hop it once. I like to rewrite to stay organized. So 24 divided into 129.6. Hop it up. Okay, so 24 doesn't go into 1. It doesn't go into 12. It does go into 129. I believe it will be 5 times. Okay, if I want to work out 24 times 5, 20, carry the 2, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, I get 120. Subtract and I get 9. bring down. 24 goes into 96 4 times evenly. At 96, subtract and I get 0. So K equals 5.4. That was a lot of work for one little proportion. Okay, couple more. I'm gonna get a new page for 23. All right, 23. 48 pens are packaged in 4 boxes. How many pens are packaged in 9 boxes? We definitely need our guiding words to start with. So we have pens, or number of pens, and number of boxes. Okay, so we want to make sure that all numbers relating to pens go on the top slots and all numbers relating to number of boxes go on the bottom. So let's reread it. 48 pens, so that would go here, are packaged in 4 boxes. So the ratio is 48 to 4. How many pens? So we don't know how many pens, that's our unknown, are packaged in 9 boxes. Okay, so we can start by finding an equivalent ratio. How do I get from 4 to 9? I don't know, okay? So then we can check to see if we can reduce, and we sure can. So we can divide both of these by 4, and we get a new equivalent ratio of 12 to 1. And now I can easily get from 1 to 9 by multiplying by 9. So we do the same thing to the numerator. 12 times 9 is 108. So how many pens are in those 9 boxes? 108 pens. Okay? So this would be our final answer. That's what the question asked. 2 more, 25. All right, 25 just asks us to solve the proportion. 2x is to 5 as 9 is to 15. Okay, before you start to tackle this, I would reduce your ratio. I would divide these by 3. You don't have to, but I think it is really helpful. Okay, so 9/15 reduces to 3/5. Drop down our equivalent ratio. And then from here, I would use cross products, okay? Some of you might see to eliminate the denominator because the denominators are equal. If you don't, just don't even worry about it and use your cross products, okay? So when we use cross products, remember they're always equal when our proportions, or I'm sorry, when our ratios are equal. So 5 times 3 is 15, okay? 5 times 2x is 10x. Now we can solve our equation by dividing by 10, and we get x equals 1.5. Okay? Don't mind the block storm in the background. Number 27, last one. Okay, 4 over k plus 3 is equivalent to 8 over 14. Okay, before you do anything, hold up, reduce your ratio. It's gonna help. You don't have to, definitely don't have to, but you get to work with smaller numbers if you do. So 4 over 7. And again, you might notice that the numerators now are equal, and you can solve this equation here, k plus 4 equals 7, and you'll get it, okay? If that's really confusing to you, just use your cross products, and you'll get it. But if those numerators are, sorry, this was a 3. 3. If those numerators are equal, you can just solve this equation right here. Subtract 3, and we're left with k. Subtract 3, and we get 4. We get k equals 4, okay? Now, if that's like, Ms. Marian, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, well, you can do it the hard way. put this in parentheses, and then use your cross products, okay? So 4 times 7 is 28. That's the easy way, okay? Then we have to multiply 4 by the quantity, k plus 3. Okay, now remember, you have to use the distributive property. Okay, so we get 4k plus 12 equals 28. We have a two-step equation that you should know how to solve. We undo addition and subtraction first. Subtract 12. Subtract 12. Inverses undo each other. We're left with 4k equals 16. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. Inverses undo each other. We're left with just k. 16 divided by 4, I'm out of room underneath. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay, but again, if you were just to solve this equation right here, you notice those numerators are equal. You can just solve k plus 3 equals 7, and you're gonna get the same thing. Okay, all right, that's it for this practice for 14.4.